We pray that as we leave this place, that the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit shall abide with us.
Hey, Darlington! Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning roll. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh,
yeah. In motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshals 2017 NASCAR Hall of Fame inductees, Mark Martin, Rick Hendrick, Richard Childress, accompanied by CEO of Bojangles, Clifton Rutledge.
Drivers, start your engine.
Here, some of the greats of this sport. Right now, great racing here. Jamie McMurray on the outside of the 21 of Ryan Blaney. McMurray in the number 1. That paint scheme throwing back to when Bill Elliott drove and had the McDonald's Mac Tonight paint scheme. And right behind him, the iconic number 21 from the Wood Brothers.
Looks like McMurray's struggling a little bit.
Pit road, they made an air pressure adjustment to help him out there, Dave.
Kelly, remember last week at Michigan, Chase Elliott had a chance to win but did not. Alan Gustafson, his crew chief, told me that night Chase called him to talk it over. And he said, okay, now we're done and let's get over it. Rear view mirror, we're going to Darlington. He believes Chase can win here tonight. He'll have to get some grip in that car and some tightness.
And potentially making a little bit of an adjustment there to the body right there. And so they are having them come back in. Now it's time to bring in Ken Squire, Ned Jarrett, and Dale Jarrett. Not only legends, but all Hall of Famers. Guys?
Well, thank you very much. It's always wonderful to be in Darlington. They're all great races when you talk about the NASCAR Cup events. But when you come here to Darlington, this place at this time is a real treasure chest. With all of this moving back through the years, bringing in people like these two gentlemen here, veterans of this speedway. Dale Jarrett, you know well, as a 3-time winner, and this fella is just incredible as far as I'm concerned. Great Ned Jarrett, one of the best broadcasters in the game. Gentlemen, what have we've seen, 101 laps completed so far before we got a caution?
Rare here at
race.
Darlington.
Yeah.
Very, very rare here at Darlington. Most of the time, because of the close quarters, basically a one-groove racetrack, you're going to have drivers touching each other or cutting each other off or whatever the case might be, and cautions come out. But they've been driving well tonight. The cars are handling good, I guess, is one way that they've been able to avoid those spinouts.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of scrapes with the wall, but very, very minor. And as slick as the track is, I would have expected more. But that caution came at a time that really put a lot of people in a very precarious position. Some had to take the wave around. So this restart is going to be quite exciting, I believe.
30 cars in the lead lap. I think we're down to about 18 right now as we get turned around after this first caution period of the evening.
But we can look back at last year. Carl Edwards was 2 laps down at one time and came back and won the race. So that doesn't put Jimmy Johnson and these other guys that are 1 or 2 laps down out of it yet.
Actually, we had 3 cautions for this time last year. And look who's up there in second spot, the kid that won in the Xfinity race a year ago. That's that Elliott kid, number 24, right there challenging Keselowski. Back with you once again, and there's the sun where you want it to be and not in your windshield as we get ready to get after it again. Keselowski will be the man on the point, and young Elliott, Chase Elliott, will be riding in the second position. Harvick in third as we square off and get ready to fire them up once again on this track, which is unto itself the most challenging. Doing into the back straightaway.
Almost a disadvantage to restart second on the outside where Chase Elliott was there trying to get down into turn one, especially if that third place car like Harvick gets a good restart.
Battle for second place developing here. There you see that number 24. This Elliott kid looks like he has all the makings to go the distance, don't you think, Dale?
Absolutely. He reminds me so much watching him of his dad, Bill, racing. Of course, Bill, a Hall of Famer and winner here of $1 million and winning that Winston Million. So he's just very, very good. So very talented. Almost won the race last week at Michigan. Doing a nice job here tonight.
Third place, Southern 500. Dad won it, what, 3 times? We'll be back with more in a moment.
Rick, I know this is going to sound silly. Halfway. We're coming to halfway. We talk about racing the racetrack. Ryan Blaney, there you have it. That's what happens to rookies at the Lady in Black. Unbelievably, Chase Elliott, he won his first Xfinity start here. Doesn't seem like a rookie yet tonight, but we are only halfway. They got to continue to remember, you're not racing your competitors yet, are you, Jeff? You're still racing the racetrack. Race the racetrack. But once again, I'm going to talk about that yellow and black 24 of Chase Elliott, driving like a veteran. Harvick, Busch, Logano, Elliott, Hamlin, Kenseth, Truex. Think of the veterans around him. This young man, his first season of NASCAR, is up here in one of the toughest races running with all these veterans.
Yeah, that's right. And people get down on him because he's down on himself sometimes. You know, is critical of himself. We saw it last week at the end of the Michigan race when he messed up on that last restart. It doesn't bother his confidence. He's just straightforward and says, I need to be better. He still gets in the race car and drives it hard and drives it very, very fast and very smartly too. So don't take getting down on himself as being weak or not strong. It's actually a sign of strength. I admire him for doing it.
His maturity is definitely well beyond his years as we look at the Chase bubble on the left side of the screen. And again, the 24 of Chase Elliott, currently the best of the points as the 48 goes around. Jimmy Johnson spinning and bringing out the caution. Is Chase Elliott. Once again, this young driver has been able to really look like a veteran on such a historic racetrack that's so difficult for so many.
But he found that comfort here right away, Rick. Remember, his first Xfinity start ever. He wins the Xfinity race here. We talk about the Lady in Back and the difficulty of this racetrack, but this young man just seems to race beyond his years, much like his father. Very calm on the radio, just seems to really understand the goal of all 500 miles.
Chase Elliott's father, Bill Elliott, a Hall of Famer that's on hand for the race tonight, as about 16 or 17 other Hall of Famers that are here for this throwback weekend. Chase Elliott, just a 20-year-old out of Dawsonville, Georgia. Dave.
You see the white and red car there of Denny Hamlin for Joe Gibbs Racing. When I talk to his
spot back.
And you talk about passing the torch in the sport. The 24 car racing for the lead at Darlington. Not with Jeff Gordon behind the wheel, but Chase Elliott.
Youth of the sport, Chase Elliott. Again, just 20 years old. Hall of Fame father Bill Elliott, numerous times a winner of the Southern 500. And the caution has come out once again.
These drivers are going to have to be a little less patient. Well, right here, Chase Elliott had a great run on the 11, tries to shut the door, was successful, but that is a move we didn't see in the first 300 laps of this race. The pace is definitely picking up, the intensity is picking up.
Oh, you can hear how he had to get out of the throttle. He just couldn't stay in the throttle, and that's the reason the 11 came at such a high rate of speed. 11 could have spun him out right there. The 11 got off the throttle and saved him a little bit, but as you mentioned, Chase Elliott, just took that spot, even though he knew he wasn't as quick as he needed to be leaving the corner.
Dave.
Chase Elliott lost 3 spots on pit road, and it's not the first time tonight. When I was looking over the replay with the crew coach down there, I didn't see anything wrong with the stop. Then I got a tap on my shoulder. Alan Gustafson wanted to see what in the world is going on. The stop seemed smooth, but he's losing spots.
pressure mounts to make the chase.
Being on the bubble is very tough.
There's a lot of tension, a lot of stress, a lot of excitement to be had.
That's as intense as it gets for drivers.
I hate saying what if or looking back and saying if I had done this or if I had done that.
If you don't make it in the chase, it's a loss of a year.
And the cars beginning to move up into a very unique display here that they're doing because of Fan Appreciation Weekend. It is the 4-wide salute to the fans. Rarely see such an impressive sight. 10 rows deep, 4 abreast. All for the fans here in Richmond, and a great turnout at Richmond International Raceway tonight as we get ready for the final race before the chase.
Fans have played such a big part of this sport. They're so loyal, so dedicated, so committed. Look at the pit crews holding up the signs. Thank you, fans. Really neat.
All up and down pit road, the crews standing on pit road wall as they go 4 wide in front of the grandstands. All right, can the nerves get any higher for the drivers that are on the bubble?
No. They might get higher as things progress during this race, but I've been in this situation. It is stressful. Even if you have a 22-point lead, you've been in racing a long time. You know things can happen. You know things out of your control can bite you. So, no, none of these drivers that are racing for this chase are relaxed by any means.
Let's listen into the 2-car and the 2 teams' radio communications. With the first caution coming out, drivers making their way onto pit road, and actually the 24 of Chase Elliott on pit road twice.
Yeah, Chase Elliott had a problem with the gun when it changed the tires. He had worked his way up to 24th after starting 34th, but now he's all the way back in 38th after that pit road problem.
Kelly, what was the deal with the 24 on pit road?
Well, as Jeff was explaining, the first time they came down under that caution, they had an issue with one of the tire guns. And during that stop, they had put scuffed tires that had some laps on them on the car. Well, when they lost all those positions, because of the slow stop, they decided to bring him back down pit road a second time. This time they put sticker tires on him so he could help work his way back up through the field.
And Rick, the whole reason they put scuffed tires on is Alan Gustafson doesn't think scuffs are better. But you only have 10 sets of sticker tires to run this race, and you start on one. That gives you 9 sets of tires in the pits. We had only run 11 laps. You can do the math. It's a 400-lap race. He didn't want to burn through his tires early, so you can transfer a set of low-lap tires for practice. That's what the 24 did. They attempted to use them. But we'll see. If it runs green, not a big deal. But if there's a lot of cautions, these crew chiefs will have to start managing their tire allotment.
Look at this. We ride along with Chase Elliott.
See right there, the 14 is really far to the right, not really in the middle lane, but the right-hand lane. He checks up to get in his pit box. I don't think Greg Biffle was ready for it. Catches the 14 of the bumper. He was running 19th. The pit crew, luckily, no one got hit. Serviced the car, but lost some track position on this cycle.
Jamie McMurray in the top 5. And 3 wide as they're working. This looks like a parking lot.
And this is not what Chris Buescher in that 34 wants to see. He wants to have an uneventful night. And being at the top 3 wide, I would not describe as an uneventful one. Who's at the bottom? David Reagan, the other car he's racing.
And I think I might just give that spot up on the outside of 3 wide. It's probably not where I want to be. Remember, fight the battle. You know, it's a fight the war, rather. Don't lose the war over this battle.
Cars packed in, fighting for position. And amazingly, 3 wide at Richmond. And up into the wall, it looks like the 24 of Chase Elliott. Sure enough, sparks flying, and Chase Elliott brings out the caution.
This will be a verdict for Chris Buescher. I believe he's the first car lap down, so I think he'll get the free pass.
Remember, I mentioned earlier, unless something catastrophic happens to the 24 of Chase Elliott, he should be in. But this potentially could be that problem that they did not want to see.
You see right here, the 31 gets down inside the 88, catches him in the corner panel, forces the 88 up into his teammate, the 24. And you see right here, Tony Stewart squeezes through the middle, but that contact must have cut the left front tire down. It took a couple laps, but here he is down the front stretch, past the start-finish line, that white and green car. You see it spark, and that's a pretty decent hit to the right side suspension. And the other concern, Rick, is not only does he have a flat tire, but with no interliners, He's dragging suspension off to get back to pit road.
You see the 88 of Jeff Gordon. He just acted like Ryan Newman wasn't there and turned left on him. I don't know if Ryan Newman really did anything wrong. It's just Jeff Gordon came down aggressively getting into one.
So the 88 of Jeff Gordon got into the 24 of Chase Elliott. For Chase Elliott, though. Listening to team communication for the 88 car.
Don't need 3 wide. I need looking inside. You know, that helps me a lot better in that situation. I didn't realize that 31 dove in there. Yeah, he dove in there late. I didn't think he was going to go there. As soon as I saw him going down there, I started calling him there.
And that was spotter coverage presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping drivers worry less. TJ Majors talking with Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, and so TJ Majors, very experienced spotter on the roof. Jeff Gordon, obviously a very experienced driver. Remember, this is only the 6th race that TJ and Jeff have worked together. So obviously TJ had an opinion on what was going on. Jeff needed different information. When it comes to spotter and driver, the cadence, how you say it, how direct you are, very little things can make a difference. It seems like they're working out the bugs with only 6 races. Kelly?
And the 24 of Chase Elliott was the victim in that they brought him down to pit road. There was some damage on both sides, primarily though on the right side, but he hit it square, so it was fixable. They pulled out that sheet metal. He's back out.
And back on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air. Chicagoland.
And this is the restart. Look on the outside. 3 and 4 wide. See the 42 of Larson way on the outside. Has to lift. Keep him getting put in the wall.
These decisions are going to get hard. We'll have to listen in on some of these crew chiefs to see can they continue, because this is a major decision. The point what people have to understand is 20 laps on your tires. If you guess wrong, if you say I'm going to stay out and no one else does, you're sunk. You're going to the back. So it's going to be interesting to see how the leaders, there's about, 22 cars, 23 cars in the lead lap, so it's going to be a tough decision.
Going to add the 24 to lead lap cars. Has scored 1 lap down. Top 10.
Keselowski giving no room whatsoever to the 18.
And another big crash on the backstretch, Rick.
Man, and right up in front of more traffic.
Behind you in 3.
Ryan Newman's in it.
David Reagan is in it.
Well,
Fire.
And Chris Buescher was in it as well.
Chris Buescher involved. The 83 of Dylan Lupton up on top of the 31. The Fire underneath the hood of the 23. And the 14 of Tony Stewart.
So he's ripped the whole lines out of the 14.
Stop right here, they said.
Involved in this, I think it was Ryan Newman.
I think the 34 was in it, but he drove away. Definitely didn't get the most damage, but you're going to see here the 31 and the 14. There's some contact right here heading into turn 1. The 31 accelerates, gets inside the 14 as they enter the backstretch.
And we've seen this several times. The cars having, getting into turn 1, and the 14 just kept coming down on the 31 on the back straightaway. It wasn't happy maybe with what went on in turn 1, and
big impact by the 23, and you see right there Chris Buescher kind of bounces between them. Yeah. Luckily gets through, but that was a really big impact for the 23 of David Reagan. It was great to see him climb out. Bottom of the backstretch.
Check up, stay high, stay high, stay high, stay high. Stop, 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 stop.
The 43 was just lucky nobody was in front of him. You could hear the rear wheels hopping up and down. Had it.
Right along with Chris Buescher. What a ride he had.
Easy, coming back up. Low. Easy. We got in it, but we're still rolling, guys. Be ready.
Remember what's on the side of Chris Buescher's car. Play it safe.
He's not listening.
Second. Now, when does someone come to...
Around all 4 of those tires so that they don't risk getting a flat like they had earlier in this race. It's a set of scuffed tires for the 34, Dave.
Good job.
Kurt Busch in the 41 slid as he came across the start finish. 4 drivers. It will be their first time in the chase. Kyle Larson with that valiant effort at the end of this race in the chase. For the first time, as is Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, and Austin Dillon. The next generation of NASCAR drivers going to be joining the veterans like Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin knows his way to victory lane. We'll join him there when we return to Richmond.
Denny Hamlin victorious once again, a third time at Richmond.
And unofficially, we take a look at the Chase standings. 13 drivers ended up winning in the regular season. Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, Jamie McMurray will make a run at the title.
And it really jumps out at me, Rick. Look at Chris Buescher in 13th, Chase Elliott in 14th. 2 rookies in the Chase this year. That hasn't been done since Denny Hamlin did it way back in 2006, the last rookie to make the Chase.
Yeah, look at the Brad Keselowski with 4 wins, Kyle Busch with 4 wins. Both of those guys go in with the most amount of points for this round 1.
And again, Kyle Larson, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, all making the Chase for the first time in their careers.
All right, Chris Buescher making his first Chase appearance, Rick.
4 drivers making their first Chase appearance. Look at the ages of these drivers as well. Chase Elliott, the huge shoes that he had to fill, stepping in for the retired Jeff Gordon, and already in his rookie season, he has made the Chase at just the age of 20. Chris Buescher, just heard from him at 23. Kyle Larson, everyone asked, when was it going to happen? Not if, but when. It happened this year. He got his win at Michigan. Now in the Chase, Austin Dillon at 26 in his 3rd season will also be fighting for the Chase championship. Marty. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. And we were just mentioning the wins and the bonus points. Those count only in the first round of the playoffs. The wins for Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, starting them off with 2,012 points, all the way down to the drivers who didn't get a win. They will start off with 2,000 points, all trying to advance, but only 12 will move on to the second round after the race at Dover.
Well, and you heard both Tony Stewart and Brad Keselowski talk about how unpredictable the Chase is, how they need to take it one race at a time. The Sprint Cup champion last year when we left Miami was Kyle Busch. He would have never made it out of round 1 without the bonus points he accomplished with those race wins. He needed those to leave Dover still included in the Chase to enter round 2. That's how important these bonus points can be.
Yeah, and a guy that didn't leave Dover in the Chase any longer was Jamie McMurray. They actually tied. So although it doesn't look like a big difference, only 12 points, those 12 points can mean a great deal.
Exciting. It's a heck of an opportunity. I'm very happy that we were able to squeak through tonight. Had to overcome a lot of adversity, a lot of wrecking, a lot of problems. It was a wild race for sure, but lucky that some of the stuff worked out the way it did, and we were able to get in this thing.
Firing, the pressure is real. 16 drivers, 10 races. It all starts right here at Chicagoland. The pressure is on to win the championship in the 2016 season.
That's a race car.
Marty, how about his teammate that's also a Chaser, Chase Elliott?
And also in the top 5 as well, Rick. I asked him a moment ago before he climbed in the car, any nerves going into your first ever playoffs? He said, no, not really. I said, why? He said, because of the man on top of the pit box. Alan Gustafson has now taken 4 drivers to the Chase 9 different times. He said that experience is so undervalued. Just his calmness that he brings our race team kind of makes me calm. And then we're going into this playoff just to have fun. That's our approach, our mentality. Jeff, you were a young driver one time, had a very experienced crew chief. How key is that when you're behind the wheel, especially when you're battling for a championship?
Oh, I think experience around you is very important. Remember, Bill Elliott, his father, has been in that championship battle too. So Chase has grown up around this environment, understands. He's seen it through his father, living that life through his father. His crew chief helping him. Remember, his car owner, Rick Hendrick, also has a lot of championships. So he has a lot of different areas to lean on for a little bit of comfort.
Martin Truex Jr. has now led over 800 laps on 1.5 miles this season. The next best, Kevin Harvick.
Also, Austin Dillon coming down pit road here as well. And remember, they were tight in the center and tight on exit. They made a wedge adjustment as well, trying to loosen up that 3 car. Also, Chase Elliott coming down pit road. Very happy with that race car. The only problem is he has no water temperature gauge that works in the car right now. So he doesn't know the water temperature inside the race car. Brad Keselowski leaving pit road as well. He's
on their way onto pit road now, led by the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Kelly.
Jimmy Johnson now has led 65 laps of this race. He's told Chad Knaus that he started off a little bit tighter that run. He had to use the track bar inside the cockpit, and he has asked Chad to go back on the adjustments that they made last time down pit road. You see it's going to be a 4-tire stop for the 48, Marty.
Kelly Brad Keselowski told Paul Wolfe, turns 3 and 4, late center exit. That's by far my weakest spot. Car is too tight. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, trying to loosen it up. Chase Elliott extremely happy with that 24 car. They debated on making a change. Alan Gustafson said, no, let's leave it alone. And for Kyle Busch, he said it was way better that run, but if he can free me up just a little bit with air pressure, I think that would help me out. Jimmy Johnson wins that race off pit road, Rick.
Sure does.
Tracking his own.
And Jeff, such an impressive run for Chase Elliott up in the second position. And I talked to Alan Gustafson about really the approach coming into the chase. He said, I could see the last few weeks of the regular season, Chase was putting way too much pressure on himself. So I told him, coming into the chase, have fun. Nobody expects us to win the championship. We're playing with house money. Just go enjoy driving the race car. Look, you're 20 years old. Have fun. You're in your rookie season in the playoffs. Why not just enjoy it?
A 4-tire change. They already made a wedge adjustment on the right side as well, trying to free him up.
Like Chase Elliott with a new rear tire carrier and a new rear changer from Casey Kane's team. That for the chase, trying to get this 24 car a little bit better. For the first time in 2 stops, they make an adjustment on that 24 car. 1 round down in the right rear, too tight, Dave.
Kurt Busch identified which run was their best. Tony Gibson identified what changes could get this car back to that, hoping to get Kurt out of 13th position and into the top 10 at least.
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Toyota. Let's go places. And welcome back to NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing from Chicagoland. The telecast presented by Toyota. One driver going places is the 24 of Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, after such a dominant performance early by Jimmy Johnson, Elliott was able to get by the 48 easily.
And so was the 18 of Busch. He was also able to get by the 48 to get himself unlapped. So all of a sudden, Jimmy Johnson's having problems, even in the middle of the corner, how slow he is. Chase Elliott easily passed Jimmy Johnson.
And when he passed him, he has pulled away to a 2.5 lead.
We were wondering if there was something wrong with the 48 on the radio. He mentioned this moments ago.
All right, man. Things acted weird when I let off the gas. It like goes straight.
And so that was what Jimmy Johnson had as far as the explanation why the car was falling off the pace. So Chase Elliott already with almost a 2-second lead over Jimmy Johnson running in the second spot. Brad Keselowski, after the green flag pit stops, is third. He is almost 4 seconds behind Jimmy Johnson. That is Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, the top 5.
And what a moment for Chase Elliott. 84 laps to go. Race 1 of the round of 16. He qualified for the chase, driving the iconic 24 that Jeff Gordon made famous. Still looking for his first win. What would be a better race to get a win than the first race of the chase? Get that automatic bid into the round of 12.
And think about what Chase Elliott is doing right here. Not only is he trying to win this race, he's also trying to prevent Kevin Harvick from having a good race. So getting in front of A.J. Allmendinger, putting A.J. Allmendinger a lap down, now has A.J. in that free pass position, keeping Kevin Harvick out of that opportunity. And with the 18 right in front of him, he could possibly get him a lap down as well. That would give him another car.
And Jeff, you saw on that graphic the 2 second-place finishes at Michigan, and we saw how hard he was on himself after that second place at Michigan in August. After that race, Alan Gustafson called him into his office and said, hey, listen, I don't mind you being hard on yourself, but I also want you being your biggest cheerleader. I also want you walking into the garage area saying, you know what, I can beat everybody in here, having confidence that you can do that. That's the attitude you need to have in this chase. You need to be relaxed, but you need to be confident. How big is that for a young driver to feel like, Jeff, that he can get it done, even though he hasn't gotten that first win yet?
I believe Chase Elliott knows he can get it done. I've watched Chase Elliott race late models. I've watched him race when he was 15, 16, 17 years old. This guy has talent. He has skill. There's no doubt about it. And he drives like he knows it, but he is hard on himself. He really takes time to say, what could I have done different? Is there something that I could have done that could have made us win that race or not had a bad finish? I like that in a young driver. It's not always positive. It's not always fun, but he takes accountability. And I think that's one of his strengths, and that's why he is so good.
Well, and Rick, 2 cautions in 187 laps. I don't buy it. With 80 laps to go, we're going to see yellows. Chase Elliott is going to have to try to figure out a way to be better than he's been on those restarts if he wants to try to win this race.
Only 3 drivers in their rookie season have ever made the chase. One of those being Denny Hamlin during his rookie season. The other being Chris Buescher and, of course, Chase Elliott.
Harvick's doing.
Kevin Harvick, a veteran, and Chase Elliott has been so hard on himself, as far as especially after Michigan, thinking he was going to win that race, but on the restart, he was bettered by Kyle Larson. Now in a position to where he can take on a 6-time champion. Back into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. A great restart by the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Chase Elliott utilized the momentum on the high side and clear him. Coming out of turn 2, he does.
It's got to be good for Chase's his confidence. He knows he can do it. He knows if he gets that opportunity to win the race, he just does. He just did it. He's just going to have to do it again.
Good job, buddy.
Now it's Chase Elliott who's out in front of this field that potentially could get that first win. And maybe even in Dawsonville, Georgia, at the pool room, the siren might sound again for another Elliott, Bill Elliott, who had 44 wins, and every time he would win, they would ring the siren. At the pool room in Dawsonville, Georgia, Chase Elliott, 52 laps away from potentially his first win in the Sprint Cup Series. Does the 24 of Chase Elliott have to worry about the little bit of debris that's on one of the hood pins here?
Yeah, I saw that a little while ago. That's been there. It's been there for a long time. I don't think it's anything other than annoying. You know, as a driver, you're seeing that. See how it's in the windshield?
Right in his windshield.
Yeah, just not paying attention to it, just ignoring it. It's more an annoyance than anything.
Steve, with ADD, would you have any way could you avoid looking at that streamer that's right in front of you?
Well, I think 200 miles an hour would keep me pretty well focused. And that's what makes these race car drivers so special, is that these are long races, and the amount of focus, the level of focus they have to carry for all of these green flag runs. We've only had 3 cautions at 200.
20-year-old Chase Elliott has been around the racetrack since he was born. 16-time most popular driver Bill Elliott, father of Chase Elliott, and 44 times his father has been able to win. Chase Elliott looking for his first win. He has been out front 49 laps of the 225 complete, just 42 laps remaining.
They were planning to leave Chase Elliott out a little bit longer, but Alan Gustafson making the call to bring him down pit road right now, sort of negating that advantage that the 48 might have had by pitting early. For the 4th time today, it'll be 4 Goodyear tires and no changes to the chassis for Chase Elliott. Pretty happy with it out front, 12-9 on the stop.
Chase Elliott taking over for the retired Jeff Gordon in the 24, the famous 24 that Jeff Gordon won championships in so many races. And now looking for his first ever win in the Sprint Cup Series, and couldn't happen in the first race of the chase that he makes as a rookie. Big story for Chase Elliott. So tough on himself as far as the last time he was in position to get a win at Michigan. It was a restart. And he said it was my fault. I didn't get that win. I did it wrong. As Alex Bowman has come to pit road now. Dave.
Greg Ice finally called his driver to pit road, knowing that they had to get fuel in this car to make it to the end. A slight wedge adjustment, a loose race car all day, but a good job by Alex Bowman. He's been in the top 10 all afternoon long.
And with that, Chase Elliott out in front. Has a 1.4 second lead. Jeff Gordon on top of the 24 pit box. Making that number famous for Hendrick Motorsports. Marty.
And Rick, nobody has won in the number 24 except for the man on the left side of the screen. That may change in 11 laps. Chase told me earlier this week he has leaned on Jeff Gordon, and the fact that Jeff has been in the car this year has been a tremendous help to him. But in the last few weeks, he's asked him about his experience last year in the chase. Remember, Jeff Gordon won a must-win race at Martinsville and went on to battle for the championship at Homestead, Miami. He said, that experience is huge for me to lean on. So far, though, Dad Bill and Mom Cindy not around. They're sitting in Chase's coach, I'm sure nervous, pacing right now as their son 10 laps away from a win. Rick Hendrick watching on. Can Chase Elliott hold off Martin Truex Jr. and get his first career win?
Chase Elliott, the race leader. Cole Pern, the crew chief for Martin Truex Jr. And don't forget, back in third, Denny Hamlin in the 11. He showed some speed. He won this race a year ago. Do you pit, do you not? And like you said, it's so difficult because whatever the 24 does, a majority will do the different. If he stays out, who comes to pit road? Fresh tires will be better, but will he have enough gap?
Dave.
Truex is going to come to pit road following leader Chase Elliott. Now it's up to the crew. Can they maintain position, get all the lug nuts tight, or perhaps pick up a spot for Martin Truex Jr.? He'll take 4. Mike.
Mike Wheeler, crew chief for Denny Hamlin, asking his driver, how good are your tires? He said they were just okay. That made the decision easy. Down pit road for fresh rubber on the 11 car. They're on pit road, as are the other leaders. Marty?
Pit stops that could decide Chase race number 1, and a little bit of a fumble on the 24 stop. The carrier on the rear missed that tire as it was handed to him. They're going to make no changes here for Joey Logano. Still a little bit too free, but still a good stop for the 24. Now let's see who wins that race off pit road. It'll be the 78 of Martin Truex Jr., Rick.
Truex Jr. wins the race off pit road. Chase Elliott loses a spot. A couple drivers stayed out on the racetrack, though.
Well, Ryan Blaney, we had mentioned that he ran longer than most people.
Hear from the guy who was out front for 75 laps today. He's with Barney.
And Rick, nobody leaves Chicagoland more disappointed than Chase Elliott. So what was going through your mind when that caution came out, when it looked like the race was yours, Chase?
I expected. Nothing's yours until it's over. So, man, that's part of life, man. You're not dumb. We've all watched this stuff long enough. We know these races don't go green that long, and we see more cautions come out at the end of these races than we do not. So that's just part of it, man. You got to expect it, be able to embrace it, and move forward. I feel like we did a good job controlling the things that we could control today. Had a fast Napa Chevy. Appreciate everybody's hard work this weekend. Hendrick was strong. That's good to see. And like I said, there's some things you just can't control with the amount of guys that stay out and where you line up on a restart. So, we played the cards we were dealt, and it came up short.
You guys did lose a spot on that final pit stop. Had you started fourth, where Truex started, do you feel like you could have won the race?
Well, if one less guy had stayed out, then we would have been fourth. So you never know how things are going to play out. Obviously, you hate to lose a spot on pit road, but our guys did a good job all day. They were solid, and those are the kind of days we have to have on pit road. So we'll take it as motivation to move forward.
How encouraged are you by the speed the 24 brought this weekend?
Yeah, we're definitely proud of it, man. We're proud of that. We're proud of the run we had today. Obviously, hate to come up short, but that's part of life some days. But we were fast, and I think that's something to be happy about. And we can move forward to Loudon with with some motivation, I think, and get ready to get going.
Well, it looked like the race was his, but Chase Elliott winds up finishing third this afternoon, Rick.
And I'm very impressed with Chase Elliott in the way he took that situation that was dealt to him. They had a bad pit stop. He didn't get that position that he wanted, but so many times we hear him get down on himself. But right there, he was very positive.
Yeah, and he took the pressure off the pit crew.
Absolutely.
He didn't point the finger right at him. He said, hey, look, if one more guy would have pitted, then we would have started in that row. So he took the pressure off that crew, and that's what he's done all year long. At his young age, he said, I got to be better. I got to be better. He has taken the attention away from his pit crew and put it directly on him.
Well, you mentioned his young age, 20 years old. He just basically, as a 20-year-old man, took all the positives, made no excuse for the negatives, said what this team needed to do better, took the excitement of having speed in his race car, moving forward to try to move out of this round of 16. That is the Chase Elliott I think everybody wanted to see after a race, and that was a great interview. Looking forward to New Hampshire.
And he's exceptionally disappointed.
Right.
I mean, he is exceptionally disappointed with not getting this win, but he knows there's another race next week, and he's putting his attention to that already.
He was one of the drivers that came in without bonus points, but finishing third in this one. Very impressive points day for Chase Elliott, but ultimately the win goes to Martin Truex Jr. Let's go now.